Hi, my name is Bennett with Answers Not Excuses Fitness Training. Today is Trainer Tip Tuesday. What we're going to do today is look at this hanging pike stretch, different variations you can work on to get to this point, and different things you can do if you don't have an access to a stall bar. So anytime you see a higher end stretch or an exercise like that, a lot of times people think, it's going to be impossible for me to get there. It's not. It's just going to be a lot of small things and incremental steps along the way you're going to have to diligently work and put together in order to get a higher end or a finished product like that. Now, even me personally, I'm just working on that more consistently. That's not a perfect end product for where I want to be, but I'm going to keep working on that to help it or have that help me get to some other goals that I have. Now, in order to get to a higher end static stretch like that, there's a lot of different things we can be doing. Different soft tissue work, different mobilizations, and different static stretches. So depending on the person, depending on their fitness level and what they need or don't need, these are going to be some examples of what you can do in order to get there. Some things might not be as good for you as for another person. Now ultimately, whatever you're doing, if you're doing consistently, you should get better at, or if you want to get better at a specific thing, you need to be specifically doing that. So for example, if I want to get better at swimming, the best way for me to get better at swimming is to swim, right? So the best way for me to get better at doing a flexion exercise like that is for me to do a flexion exercise for most people. Now, sometimes people are actually really weak back here, so they're actually really tight in their hamstrings because they're weak and their pelvis is tilted. So in that case, they're actually going to need more strengthening for all their extension, but that's a whole different story for another day. So as far as some exercises for getting to this higher end product, we'll just assume that that's not the case with you and you just need to work on some specific flexion things for that. So one of the easiest non-equipment things you can do to get yourself ready to work on that like hanging pike there is just the standing pike. Now there's a lot of different ways you could do this. I don't necessarily recommend ever statically holding a stretch at the beginning of a workout. You're cold, your muscles aren't very pliable, you're going to decrease performance, and you're going to increase the likelihood of injury, kind of like I posted before. So what you could do is you could literally touch your toes, grab them here with your legs bent to let tension off your hamstrings, and then just try to straighten your legs back and forth. And let's say this is your range of motion you can go to. That would be totally fine. Let's say you can't get down that far. You could try to do that same thing here. Just working in and out. If that was still a problem, you could always grab onto something too. Now obviously this is convenient, it could be anything. So I could just grab onto something like this, kind of squat, push my butt back, move in and out. Another option you're going to have is going to be an inchworm. We can either do a push-up position inchworm where you're moving your feet, or something I call a reverse inchworm where you're moving your hands. So regardless, we're going to be in a push-up position, making sure I'm not arching my back, I'm squeezing my butt, engaging my core. The reverse one, I walk my hands backwards. If I get stuck here, I get stuck here. If I can get further back, I'll keep going. And ideally, I'm going to try to get here, try to finish with this pike, kind of like this. And then I can just walk forward. Now that's one option, okay? A regular inchworm, what we could do is just little baby steps. Walk your feet up. If you get here, you get here. If you can get further, great. Now something else you can do is called the Jefferson curl. The whole point of this is it's going to be a load assisted or weighted mobility exercise. Now this is not something you're going to explode into or grab a ton of weight. This is incremental over time. We're going to use a small amount of weight to actually help pull you into the stretch further. That's why it's called weighted mobility. You can already put your hands to the ground and go completely flat like this. Now we're going to need to get a little more range of motion, so that's why I'm going to give myself a little bit of elevation with this step. So what I'm going to do is slowly try to round my spine and reach down as far as I can. So I'm going to round taking my time, super slow, pause for a second, and then I'm gonna slowly come up and try to focus on my vertebrae and pulling each one back and up into extension to stand up tall all the way. And then I'm just gonna slowly go down and let that same thing happen. So one of the other things that's more likely you're gonna have access to instead of that stall bar is gonna be a pull-up bar. This is also gonna challenge your grip. It also did when I was on that stall bar too, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna hang from the pull-up bar. Remember to depress your shoulder blades like I showed you in a previous video. And then we're gonna pull your knees to your face and put your feet up here. So we're gonna keep your shoulder blades depressed. I'm gonna pull my knees up and I'm gonna put my feet on the bar here and I'm gonna straighten my legs. So this is also gonna be a great option as far as that goes. You could put your feet like that. I could put them here, kind of sink down. I don't feel nearly as much of a stretch here. This is gonna be a little bit more. Okay, ultimately you need to pick where you're at today. And then we just keep working that progression. And over time, you're gonna get changes little by little by little. This is not gonna be a sprint. This is definitely a marathon. You know, anytime you're building strength or mobility, any of that stuff, it's not just a quick type of thing. So I hope you found that helpful in order to get to that more advanced looking hanging pike stretch. So these are gonna be some different options you're gonna be able to try. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, feel free to reach out.